Now, yes. It took a lot longer than I expected. I guess a lot of the medical people told me that it would, but being me, I thought I would be able to maybe be a little bit quicker than I was. But I think you don't necessarily realise the effects it has, like mentally as well, something like that. And physically, I've always been able to do it, just not. I had to take my time and do everything the proper way this time. Yeah, I'm quite a calm person. I don't really like doing too much, and like I like my own space, and I like being in and around the girls and just really chilled, to be honest. I don't like anything that's too much, just chill. I like simple things in life, waking up, walking my dog, taking coffee, nothing too extravagant. Yes, I've always loved coffee. It's something that like I kind of dictates my day as such. But obviously, while I had the time away from football, it was kind of nice to put my focuses elsewhere. And I think maybe when you have this period in your life, it makes you realise that maybe you have to have something else other than football. So it was a nice distraction, and that's due to kind of launch hopefully before Christmas. I think it was when I found out that I was going to play. It was just like a relief as such. It had been such a long time, and it's something that I guess the longer it goes on, maybe the harder it gets. And it's already been a pretty long time. So for me, it was just like a huge relief. And to be able to kind of tell my family, and they came over to watch the game. So to have them here was incredible. Yeah, I kind of got a little bit of a heads up, just I think more so just to prepare, because it had been such a long time. So just to kind of prepare properly and kind of get back to old habits, and also it was really nice to kind of be able to let my family know for sure. It was, but at the same time it was just like a strange feeling, because I knew hadn't been well, and I knew I had like certain things, but like there wasn't one part of me that ever thought that would be the kind of outcome, because I guess now I'm more knowledgeable on it. It does happen to young people, but I think being naive and not really ever experiencing anything like that, you almost just associate it with like older people or a certain type of people, and never really someone who's athletic and young like I am. So that was strange, pretty scary, and kind of all unfolded pretty quick. I was taken straight to hospital and things like this, and that was scary because I'd never experienced anything like that, and never really had the experience within my family, luckily, either. So yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind, and something that like I'm dealing with now, and something that I want to put behind me, but also help raise awareness as such as well. Yeah, it's been super important. I think even probably going back to the start of last season, I was in quite a difficult place I wasn't playing for City, and things just necessarily didn't work out the way I wanted it there. Obviously, having been there a long time, it was a difficult thing for me to process, and just the way it kind of unplayed wasn't ideal, to be honest. So I wasn't necessarily in the best place anyway. And then for this to all unfold after that, it took quite a hit, and something that I'd never really sat back and thought about. And as athletes, we tend to just keep going, and unfortunately, it took something kind of massive for me to realise that there's one, more to life than football, but two, like it is super important to look after yourself mentally and off the pitch, because for me I was so like obsessed with going, and football had always been the priority, and sometimes like I hit that tough period where football wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. You kind of reevaluate, and you realise that does take a big hit on your life. So for me, it's just about really now valuing moments with family, and kind of finding joy in other things, as well as, I would say, coming to Barcelona, I've re-found my love for football too. Yeah, incredible. Like, I cannot thank them enough, and I'll be forever grateful to this football club, for sure. I think that was such a difficult period. I'd kind of done the agreement, and then maybe it was like a week or 2 weeks later that this all happened. So as well, this was a difficult part for me, because I was thinking, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to play football again. Like, it was super stressful, as well as focusing on my recovery, obviously then worrying about the outcome of kind of where my future lied, because I knew I was out of contract at City at the start of the season, and for me, straight away Barca was incredible, and it kind of took that pressure off and took that stress away, and it just allowed me to focus on my recovery and coming in to this club in July and being in a better place and ready to work and return to the pitch. But like I say, I'll be forever grateful, and now it's nice for me to be back on the pitch, but not just for myself, but to be able to kind of give a thanks and for all the supporters for their patience. And I know it's been a long time coming, and I've had to be patient with myself, and there's no one more impatient than me. So it's a great relief, and yeah, like I say, I hope to repay the club with performances and help the team win trophies. Yeah, it was the Gamper Cup. It was against Inter Milan, and I remember we was on holiday in Salou, and we got like a coach across, and me and my dad went, and it was obviously at the Camp Nou, and we were sat like super high up, like pretty much like out of the stadium, high up, but just being there and kind of seeing the atmosphere. And obviously I have a season ticket at Sheffield United, that's my club, that's being my team. The minute I could walk, my dad had me at them games, so that will always be like in my heart. But I think coming to that game, it was a kind of a realisation of, wow, this is like next level, you know, like this atmosphere and just like the amount of fans and things. It was something I'd never seen before, and to be able to watch that level of player and see the likes of Messi, and you know, it was just, yeah, incredible. For sure, more than a dream come true. And I think now just, it's pretty surreal, to be honest. Like, I think a lot of people talk about the comeback, but I think regardless of that, to be able to fulfill my dream and play for Barcelona is something that I've always wanted to achieve, and to be here and doing it is, yeah, it doesn't feel real. I don't remember. I don't know how it happened, and I think looking back now, I'd probably prefer to be a striker, but yeah, it kind of just happened, and throughout being in school, and I always used to play football with the boys, and I guess I just got put in the net, so it's something that I took to pretty well, and it's been something I've loved ever since. I am like this. I think when I signed, there was a few like videos circulating on social media of me and Kata. I don't know, we're both pretty similar, to be honest. We're both very chilled on the pitch, and I think that reflects in maybe some moments that the fans don't necessarily love. But for us, like, we would never do anything that kind of, you know, we didn't think was right in that moment. And sometimes that comes with tricks and things that maybe other goalkeepers don't do, but that's just expressing ourselves and how we like to play, and we love playing with our feet, and it suits Barca perfect. Yeah, it was a lot. I think it was always like an upward trajectory. Like, I'd come in so young, and I'd started straight away in City, then I was like City's #1 at such a young age, and kind of coming in when Karen Bardsley had been so great and taking on that responsibility, and then being in the England squad so young, and all these things. And then I remember going to the Tokyo Olympics and playing in the Tokyo Olympics and coming back and getting a pretty bad injury, and I think that was probably just because it was so much, you know. And from that point on, then I'd always put a lot of pressure on myself because I'd not necessarily reached where I wanted to reach. I'd kind of got to a point, got injured, and then I was almost fighting to get back. And I think sometimes you have to just sit back and think this is the way it is. And I think coming here is like a perfect reset to build, work hard, and I'm always looking to improve. And I think here I've found the perfect environment to do that. Yeah, it's been fine, to be honest. I mean, coming to Barcelona, like the city itself, the people, everyone's super friendly. I've not been back to England once other than for the game against Manchester City, because I love it here and I feel really settled. The weather helps a lot, and now I have my dog here too. Like, I feel like it's just home, so naturally it's been pretty easy. And obviously I have Kira here, who I've played with for many, many years, and that's a nice comfort to have. But all the girls have been super welcoming. To be honest, that was one of my favourite games that both legs were like two of my favourite games to have played in. I think I played pretty well, and we got smashed. To be honest, we got smashed. And I remember coming here, and it was in it was in Monza in COVID, and that was the away leg as such. And I just remember thinking, we're in for it. And like the first 15 minutes, I was out of breath. I was like, yeah, okay, today's like a proper game, you know. And it was difficult, and there was so many moments in that game that I look back on, and I enjoyed it. We lost, but I enjoyed it. It's always great to test yourself against like top players, and for me that was probably the toughest game I've ever played in, for sure. What we did back in 2000 and something against us last time, when I think we just need to take confidence in that we've worked super hard since that last result. I think we're in a better place now. We've got the home crowd. We hope everybody turns out, you know, we hope we get a big crowd on side, and that really does help push the team. But I think we know their threats, but we also have to focus on our strengths. We have so many strengths that could hurt City, and for us that's got to be a focus, and we've got to really take the game to them. We're at home now and we want to top the group.